It's another training day here in cold Colorado, but first gotta get my hair cut. Much better. Alright, so now that that's done, I've got to head home, grab a lot of food, finish off my little bit of work I've got for Rugby Academy, and then we're gonna lift with my buddy Josh. We're on a deload week this week. Well, it's actually an intro week because it's in the next cycle of programming that we're going to do for Rugby Academy, which features a lot of plyometrics and quite a lot of heavy lifting. So just feeling out the program to see if it's going to definitely work. I think I've said this before, I prefer intro weeks over deload weeks because I think it's a better way, it's a better mentality, because you can, rather than finishing a tough cycle and then just doing the same cycle again but lighter, you're actually starting a new one and you're feeling it out to see if it's going to work really well. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, this is shaking again. I think they're installing new sewage pipes or whatever around here because it bloody stinks. Anyway, the goal of the programming at the minute, or the long-term goal, is to increase speed and fitness basically for rugby. We'll get back to weightlifting at another point, but right now rugby's the main goal. So speed and fitness at the minute. This cycle that we're on is a lot more to do with strength building before realizing those strength gains in terms of speed, because the stronger you are, the more potential you have to be faster, and therefore we're trying to build strength in this phase and just keep the speed stuff topped up. And then in terms of fitness, I'm just doing a lot of real low intensity stuff. Q work. If you listen to the next Rugby Muscle podcast, me and Alex go through all why you should be doing quite low intensity work, aerobic work for rugby. And in fact, if you go on rugby-muscle.com, which I'll put in the link below, you get a free conditioning guide of over 50 different condition drills that myself and Alex put together. Let's talk about how awesome this meal is going to be. I haven't really had anything in the way of carbohydrates today because I want to save them. I want to start getting the routine of saving my carbs to right before I train, and as obviously I'm training in the evening. We've got a ton of potatoes. Where I'm from, a ton is precisely 400 grams, apparently. But yeah, 400 grams of potatoes, a lot of chopped peppers, onions. It's going to be real good. And then add into this mix 2 whole eggs and some egg substitute. Egg substitute, by the way, awesome. If you like eating a lot and getting a lot of bang for your buck, egg substitute is the way to go. And that is the final product. I will be adding sriracha. Boom. This sauce is phenomenal. And then obviously ketchup, but this is the opposite of phenomenal. I wouldn't really advise getting Hunt's ketchup. I thought it would be a good idea because, what does it say on it? 100% natural. So I thought, oh, natural, that must mean it's good. It's not. It's like the opposite of good. It's no good. That is the opposite of good. Just has a weird taste to it, but obviously I'm still going to put it on my eggs because you don't have eggs without ketchup. Like, I'm not a weirdo. Anyway, let's get this meal down and I'll see you probably in the gym. Alright, so what's going on, everyone? I decided that it would be a good idea for me to do a voiceover of this workout just to explain a few things as we go, and also because I haven't really done a voiceover in a while, so we just had me working out with some music. This time I decided it was quite important to do a voiceover just to let you know exactly why everything fits in the way it does. So first and foremost, obviously it's very important that I get through a good warm up. When I was younger, I pretty much never really warmed up. I'd roll my arms a few times and then go straight onto the bench, or I'd just do a few sets with a lighter weight and that would be it, and that would be my warm up. I wouldn't bother doing anything else. Nowadays I'm getting more and more beaten up. I sound like an old man even though I'm only 27. It's kind of getting ridiculous. But anyway, the idea is, yes, I need to warm up properly. Now these plyometric drills here aren't actually part of the warm up. This is probably one of the main parts of the workout, where I try and be as explosive as possible and reactive with the ground. It comes after warm up because that's when I'm going to be at my most freshest. It's not necessarily having me concentrate on moving as fast or as high or as explosive or as much weight as possible. The idea here is just, again, to move well, and when I transition into a full sprint program, then we're going to hopefully realize that me moving well and doing all these drills better is going to result in a faster TJ, and that's the plan anyway. So speaking of getting a faster TJ, we then move on to moving some bloody weight. So we've got quarter squats. I've decided to change it from front squats to back squats, simply because I feel that I'm going to be able to move a lot more weight there and get a bit more explosive. So if I can work strength in this position here, that exact quarter squat position, that is going to be more applicable to sprint speed than pretty much any other movement, and I can then get used to doing this low bar rack position. I haven't told you guys yet, but I'm trying to transition into a bit more of a lower bar because I think I can push a lot more weight if I do that. And then also my favorite movement probably at the minute that I'm doing is these hip thrusters, and it's not because of what you think it probably looks like or anything like that. It's just a real good movement to help with speed. I suggest that pretty much everyone should be doing these. They should be treated almost on a par with squats and deadlifts. Probably a lot of people don't want to do them because I think they're going to get a lot of funny looks, a bit dodgy looks from people in the gym if they're in like a public gym or whatever. But really, I think they can boost your performance just as much as squats, just as much as deadlifts, if you get them right and you treat them properly. You also saw that it's kind of awkward though, I guess, with the bar. I decided to roll up a yoga mat. A lot of gyms will have that foam pad that people like wussies use to squats. You can use them as well, but we don't have one in this training facility, so just roll up a yoga mat. And then here we go with my accessory work. So I spoke over already the dumbbell rows. Then we've got some core work here, and I've decided to structure these accessory movements, so the core stuff and the random bodybuilding stuff. Not quite random, but it's just I have a number of sets for each exercise that I've got to get through within the space of a week, and I just hit them as and when. So if I've got some time on my high days, I hit them then. If I want to hit the gym on a low day, I can do them then as well, and it just makes for a good little balance, and I do stuff as and when I feel. Here we're doing barbell side bends. This is a really good core movement, but I think it's the second or the third. You should definitely look at getting side planks down. I think I've put that in previous videos. I've been working those quite heavily. Then this is a little progression from that. And then the bird dogs, I have been showing me working the bird dog holds, definitely on my Instagram if you check that out in the links below. These have been really difficult, so I've only just managed to get these for a minute and a half, 3 sets on a minute and a half, so that's allowed me to progress to these moving ones. The problem is with core movements, if you progress through them too quickly, what happens is you don't actually activate your core as much as you should. You have bigger muscles such as your quads and your glutes and your upper back, and other muscles take over instead of working the small muscles in your core, which is what you're trying to work here. So with these bird dogs, I've only recently, this is the first time I've actually done these like moving, changing each one, and I really did feel it because I've learned to use my core and activate it well there. Another thing on these, I've decided that it's important that you really try and picture straightening out your leg as far as you can, and with your arm reaching with both of them as far as you can. And give this one a go and let me know if you feel it. But this should be really helping you with anti-rotation stuff, which means in a tackle or in a ruck, you can stay a little bit stronger. And then here we go with my shoulder movement, the front raise side lowers. These really help my shoulder track at the same time with the raise, then also put a bit of strain on the delts, on the side delts, by lowering them down the side. Give these a go as well, I'd say. You see lots of guys do this sort of stuff in public gyms, and they all line up and they do them in sync, which is a bit weird, but whatever. And then the last two accessory movements we've got here are tricep extensions, just because of all that pressing that I do, I want to try and get some sort of tricep movement, which is just more of an extension, just to keep healthier elbows. I'm not really going too heavy on these. I just want to try and keep healthy elbows through all the volume of pressing and pulling that I'm doing. And then I've supersetted these with calf presses. Actually, they were supersetted with the shoulders as well. So maybe a tricep, maybe you'd call that a tricep for the triceps. And the reason that we are doing quite a bit of calf stuff at the minute is, again, for that sprint speed, because if I get a lot of volume through the calves, which I basically have never properly done on a consistent basis throughout my training career, the idea there is that I can then apply more force through the ground, stronger calves. If you look at sprinters training, they'll do a lot of calf work. Not necessarily saying I want to be a sprinter, but I would like to try and just get some weight through these calves. See if I can grow them a little bit, maybe. Not too bothered about that though, because you haven't seen racehorses with big calves, and those guys move really fast anyway. So that will wrap up this video. If you haven't so far, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the channel quite a lot. If you are new here, which is a surprise, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.